Hello everyone. Please subscribe my channel. Angry, combative and defensive Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag comes out fighting. Erik ten Hag has been a manager under pressure this week, and the spotlight has been on the Man United boss after 3 press conferences in 3 days. As Erik ten Hag pulled up a chair in the Jimmy Murphy Centre at Carrington on Thursday, he smiled out at some all too familiar faces. For the 3rd time in as many days, the Manchester United manager was holding a press conference and speaking to the media. United's recent change to make Friday a day off ahead of Sunday games meant ten Hag held his media duties to preview this weekend's derby less than 16 hours after he had spoken to journalists at the City Ground after the 1-0 win at Nottingham Forest. That late win in the FA Cup eased some of the pressure on ten Hag, and United officials confirmed the time of his Thursday press conference within minutes of the final whistle sounding. Had that result gone against the Dutchman, then maybe it would have been at 2 a.m. rather than 2 p.m. For the scrutiny and the pressure ahead of Sunday's Manchester derby would have been excruciating. Instead, victory in the East Midlands and an FA Cup quarter-final date with Liverpool gave ten Hag some cheer in what has been a fraught and fractious week. One that began with an Old Trafford defeat to Fulham, then a public castigation of ten Hag's tactics on Sky Sports' flagship Monday Night Football show. In his time at Old Trafford, ten Hag has emerged as someone who ticks a few of the Dutch stereotypes, notably that he can be direct in his communication and also that he rarely accepts criticism if he feels it is misplaced. So maybe he would have always hit back at Jamie Carragher's analysis when he held his first press conference of the week on Tuesday. But it did rather set the tone for what was to follow. Across 35 minutes in front of the media this week, ten Hag has cut a combative and sometimes angry figure. Is this the real ten Hag, or an attempt to create a siege mentality? Either way, he has come out fighting at a point when his job is undoubtedly on the line. He had already faced the question on the future before Carragher's comments were raised 2 minutes into his press conference duties on Tuesday. He spent 1 minute and 45 seconds accusing the former Liverpool defender of being biased in his criticism of the club, a response that would have been lapped up by United fans. Ten Hag clearly had an issue with Carragher that he wanted to get off his chest, but the points raised by the pundit looked to be fair and accurate, so the response created a distraction from the tactical issues at hand. It was part of an occasionally touchy 15 minutes on Tuesday, when the questions focused on his future and the form of Antony, his marquee signing at the club and a player to whom he is indelibly linked. His claim that Antony was fast over the first 10 yards was questioned by one reporter, and ten Hag also claimed the talk over his future after one defeat so far in 2024 was opportune. Maybe most intriguing of all was how he used a question about young players to talk about his faith in Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. Ten Hag does deserve credit for playing both of them, especially Mainoo, but his claim that everybody was questioning him playing Mainoo earlier in the season was wide of the mark. If anything, ten Hag's faith in the teenage midfielder has been one of the positives of the season. This was an attempt to remind people of that, but the fact the manager again used it to fire back at his perceived critics hinted at someone feeling the pressure. That would have been almost intolerable had his side then lost at the City Ground, but despite an occasionally unconvincing performance, United ground their way to a gutsy win to take some of the heat off ten Hag. Not that it led to a more conciliatory tone. He branded the criticism of Bruno Fernandes' supposed play acting on social media and in this serious media as pathetic. United officials again raised criticism of the club captain in the media and online on Thursday morning, but played down a clip posted on Fulham's official TikTok channel, in which the Cottagers seemingly mocked Fernandes for going down too easily in the incident that led to his injury. But when Fulham's social media post was put to ten Hag in his final press conference of the week, he didn't hold back in lashing out at another Premier League club, demanding an apology from them. If they did it, I would say it is not right. It is absolutely not right that a club makes such statement. Totally out of order and wrong. They should apologize for this, said ten Hag. In a way, the focus on Fernandes and the opportunity to launch such an impassioned defense of his captain would have been ideal for ten Hag. It was a shift in focal point from his own future, and in the space of a couple of days and one badly needed win, the narrative had switched from his managerial future to the treatment of a key player, and how his side go about winning at the Etihad. There was a reluctance to paint City as some kind of unbeatable Premier League giant, and a statement about United's own form being just as encouraging. The smiles were again mostly absent and the comments about Fernandes were forthright and adversarial. But that had been the case in a week when Ten Hag has come out fighting. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this, don't forget like and subscribe this channel. Goodbye.